If you keep ending up in the same kind of relationship with the same kind of person, you're not unlucky and you're not broken. There's a pattern. And once you understand it, everything starts to make a different kind of sense. Today, we're talking about why narcissists target empaths and why it keeps happening to the same people. And if this is resonating already, subscribe. I post every week, and what's coming next goes even deeper into this. What is an empath? Before we get into the dynamic, it's worth being clear about what we mean by empath, because the word gets used loosely. An empath, in the psychological sense, is someone with a heightened sensitivity to the emotional states of others. They feel what other people feel, not just intellectually, but viscerally. They pick up on mood shifts that others miss. They instinctively try to reduce tension, smooth over conflict, and care for the people around them. This is not a weakness. In most contexts, it's an extraordinary strength. Empaths make exceptional friends, partners, caregivers, and leaders. But in the specific context of a relationship with a narcissist, every single one of these qualities becomes a vulnerability. Not because the empath is naive, because the narcissist is specifically looking for exactly what the empath offers. Why narcissists target empaths? The psychology. Narcissists have a fundamental need that never goes away, the need for narcissistic supply. Attention, admiration, validation, emotional response. They require a constant flow of it to maintain their sense of self. Most people over time stop providing this. They get tired. They set limits. They disengage. Their supply runs out. Empaths don't do this, at least not quickly. Their natural orientation toward others means they keep trying. They absorb the narcissist's emotional needs without being asked. They make excuses for behavior that others would walk away from. They feel responsible for the narcissist's pain and work to fix it. From the narcissist's perspective, an empath is the ideal supply source, abundant, renewable, self-replenishing. Researchers studying narcissistic relationships have noted that narcissists, often unconsciously, demonstrate a sophisticated ability to identify people high in empathy and agreeableness. They read these qualities quickly, and they move toward them with precision. The attraction dynamic. Here's what makes this particularly complicated. The early stages of a narcissist-empath relationship feel extraordinary. The narcissist is drawn to the empath's warmth and sensitivity. The empath is drawn to the narcissist's confidence, intensity, and the sense that they are being truly seen. Because narcissists, in the early phase, are extraordinarily skilled at reflecting back what you most want to see. This is not random, it's calibrated. The narcissist quickly identifies what the empath needs, validation to be understood, to feel special, and delivers it with precision. The empath, whose nervous system is finely tuned to emotional experience, feels this intensity as profound connection, as something rare, as finally finding someone who gets it. What they're actually feeling is the opening move of a very sophisticated pattern. Why empaths stay? This is the part that's hardest to talk about, because it requires looking honestly at the qualities that are also genuine strengths. Empaths stay in narcissistic relationships longer than most people would, not because they're weak, but because of the very qualities that made them a target in the first place. Their capacity for empathy means they genuinely feel the narcissist's pain and believe it is their responsibility to address it. When the narcissist suffers, the empath suffers with them. This creates a bond that is extraordinarily difficult to break. Their tendency toward self-reflection means they are more likely to question themselves than the narcissist. When things go wrong, the empath's first instinct is to ask, "What did I do? How can I fix this?" This is precisely the response the narcissist depends on. Their optimism and belief in people means they hold on to the version of the narcissist they saw at the beginning and keep working to bring that person back. They believe in change. They believe in redemption. They believe in the relationship, and the narcissist knows this and uses it. The cycle. The narcissist-empath relationship tends to follow a recognizable cycle. Idealization. The empath is showered with attention, devotion, and the experience of being deeply seen. This phase creates the emotional investment that sustains everything that follows. Devaluation. Gradually, the treatment shifts. Criticism replaces praise. Withdrawal replaces warmth. The empath works harder to restore the connection. The narcissist's supply increases as the empath's efforts intensify. Discard. At some point, the narcissist moves on to a new supply source, or simply withdraws entirely. The empath is left confused, depleted, and often blaming themselves. Hoovering. Frequently, the narcissist returns, not because they have changed, but because the previous supply source is always the easiest to reactivate. The empath, still feeling the connection, still hoping, often lets them back in. And the cycle begins again, breaking the pattern. The most important thing to understand is this: the pattern repeats not because you keep choosing wrong, but because the qualities that make you a target are the same qualities that make you extraordinary in every other area of your life. You cannot stop being an empath. You wouldn't want to. But you can learn to recognize the early signatures of this dynamic: the love bombing, the too fast connection, the sense of being uniquely understood, and treat them as data rather than destiny. You can learn to ask, is this person's intensity matched by their consistency? Do they show up the same way when things are difficult? Do they take responsibility for impact or only for intention? And you can learn, gradually, with practice, with support, to extend the same compassion you give so freely to others, to yourself, to treat your own needs as worthy of the same care you pour into everyone else's. That shift is not small. For an empath, it might be the hardest thing there is. But it is the thing that changes the pattern. Subscribe for more videos on the psychology of narcissism, manipulation, and how to protect yourself. And I'll see you next week.